feed in or communicate about the planned op.
Right, exactly.
You know what? Honestly, I don't believe in the concept of spying. If we,
And there's
Too many of them.
you know, if we as a side get our game on as we have done in the past, they can spy as much as they want, because we have been, you know, up to 3 weeks ago we were rolling them like nothing else. We're being extremely good, and you know what we can control is what we do, and this spying business is something that we can't really control. So it's difficult to kind of discuss in a meaningful way, in my opinion. But you know, we
Right.
can crush them either way.
Exactly.
Right.
I was just saying that, you know, sometimes, you know, we try to put it out. We actually had a well-coordinated attack on that one. I can't remember even the town, Lex. You could probably remember what town, and about 3 or 4 nights ago.
Right. Well, and the thing is, guys, is we went through this phase quite a few years ago within the high command, where we got so, you might say, scared of all the so-called spying and stuff. And it got to where we were definitely we were not effective at all, because we wanted to do everything secretly. And what we ended up doing is we ended up hurting the player base, because we weren't putting the information out that was needed to draw the players in on what was trying to be done. So the mindset has changed. So all the spying stuff, it's going to happen. That's just, you know, the nature of the beast. So the best thing we can do within the HC, which, you know, Svart and Wolf and him has just, you know, pointed out, is we just continue to move forward. And the best way to overcome the, you know, the spy stuff, if you want to put your, you know, the tinfoil hats on and make it into a huge issue, is we just got to organize better. And that takes the HC and that takes the players.
Well, Lexfire, no matter what, even if they hear about it, it's going to be really hard to stop a pretty impenetrable force, even if they know about it. So
exactly,
you have to be open about it. Otherwise, if you try and be too secret, you're going to lose people out of the loop, and it's going to hurt the side. So just be open and just get it done.
Bingo. That's it right there. And the thing is, guys, we can't take anything away from the Axis as well, because they're doing a damn good job on defending and being alert on their AWS, or their EWS, I'm sorry. And they are getting those defenses out. And where we're short on high command officers, when we usually, guys, and operates really well within the high command, is when we see AWS pop off, or we lose an FB to a certain town that we know is strategically valued, we will try to get an officer there to kind of keep an eye on things, to find out what's going on, and to basically possibly have to put some information out to the player base. But what's happening is, where we're short on some officers, we count on the players. We count on the squads to help us pick up on that and to get the information out across. And, you know, and it's just and I'm going to go to the old excuse, okay, it's a numbers thing. But essentially that does hurt, because we are counting on you guys when we're short on officers to be able to go check that AWS or the EWS that's going off, so that we can, you know, work just like how the Axis are doing. They're doing a damn good job on defense, bastards. Sorry about that.
I want to add one more thing. One more thing on what I said earlier, you know, about that side channel and that op that we were planning in. We're not going to stop communicating on ops. We're not going to stop communicating on side or anything else. 33 is an additional channel we've added in to help our communication level. Ops, and there's a lot of players don't monitor it, and like someone mentioned, the limited number of channels, people set maybe 55 for error. They may have their own personal squad channel, and then if they want target and objective. So sometimes, and I have that problem, I'm bouncing channels. Sometimes I'm wiping one and going to another because I just don't have the channels for everything I'm trying to do in there. But we will continue to communicate on ops and side, no matter whether we think someone's listening or not. We can't worry about that. Our main goal now is to get the communication to you players, so you feel like you're being affected, that you're a part of the team, and not that we're ignoring you. We definitely do not want that mentality or anything coming at it. I mean, we want to do everything. That's what this meeting's about, is to make sure that we're finding every possible way we can to understand where the players are coming from, for the players to understand where we are, and for us to support you, and in every way we can get it for you guys to support us, because we need you. We cannot do it by ourselves, and you guys can't do it without us. So we're a team.
Hey,
You
yeah,
just gotta be
guys.
supportive. You just gotta be supportive of that guy that you see his name and you never seen him before. Respect him as much as that same guy you see is a guy that you see all the time.
Exactly, exactly. Every player counts. Every single person counts in here. The lone wolf and the squads. You know, there's a lot of squad talk here, but we are also addressing lone wolves. You know, people that don't play, or maybe they've got a 2 or 3 person squad. Every person is valuable. I mean, I've actually had little 2-man squads that can be dangerous because they go out, they take out FBs, or they take an ownership of a key CP or the bunker and say, this is ours. We're not letting them have it.
Oh, all right, real quick, Voodoo, if you can pop in your comments, sir.
All right, okay. Just adding on from what he said, I think a lot of it, what you've said about the support as well, I think the Allied High Command, really, there's been a lot about Allied, you know, you've always used tanks, haven't you? Let's be honest, Allies have always relied on tanks. And obviously with the spawn lists changing recently, I don't know whether this should be a point whether it's assisting you or not, because I find a lot on the attacks, there's more tanks on the attack than there is infantry. So again, that might be something you guys might need to bring up, because there's sure as hell there's little infantry on most of the attacks and tons and tons and tons of tanks, which won't assist you either.
Right, and a lot of that has to do with what the players like to play. I mean, even though we can express, and I know how many times I see it across, we need more infantry, we need more cover, but we, you know, and you guys know, we can't stop you from spawning what you want to bring up on the fights. And that it just all boils down to perception of the players, what they feel that they can use that can best support the attack or defense. And you guys know, and we see the chat go across, and there's nothing nobody can do short of saying, you know, if we had a tool in game to lock it to where you can't spawn tanks. But that puts the perception out. Once again, the high command is controlling what we can do. And that's something we definitely want to try to avoid. The only thing we can do as high command, and even as squad leaders, is put out across. We need the infantry, or we need the anti-tank guns. And, you know, it's all boils down to what the players want to spawn in. It's, you know, it's just the players, what they want to use.
Can I say something here?
Yes.
Of course, you can say, you know, we need ATGs and ask certain players to bring fruits and armor and all this kind of stuff and try to get it organized. But I will not, at least personally, try to be too rigid about, you know, saying, you know, you need to do this and you need to do that. This level of details is up to the players, I would say. We ask players and squads, can you do certain things? Sometimes say yes, sometimes they want to do other stuff, but it's not up to us to say, you guys, you need to spawn more infantry. I don't know if you guys disagree with me on that one, but
I think people would respond if they knew that was coming from the high command instead of just some guy's opinion that you see on the target channel.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we put it out there sometimes that we need more infantry and all that kind of stuff, and you'll see me doing this and other officers doing this as well. But I would say there's a limit to how much, you know, we can do there. I don't want to try to force anybody, if you know what I mean. I will try to encourage, but I won't be forcing too much, if that makes.
Don't be afraid to ask, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and asking I will do.
Yeah, and on Plummet, on what you just said about, you know, so the players will know that it was a high command. And guys, please believe me, I'm not trying to put the high command above the players. But one of the suggestions that's been put forward is finding some way to have an HC tag on chat. When a high command guy puts something out across, it's going to show on his tag, you know, on chat channel HC, and then of course the information. That way the players can know that it's coming down from the high command. Now, that's just something we put through on suggestions, and that's something that CRS would have to do. But now, granted, we can still type in, you know, /HC and then the information. But that is something that can hopefully be brought forward that, you know, that can help, you know, as far as recognizing the information coming from the high command. But hey, guys, look, I know we're getting over our limit, and there's a lot of stuff that we've missed or that we haven't been able to address. But we don't want to keep you guys, stuck on a channel in this meeting too long. And I know, so we're going to have to call a time on this. But I've got the entire conversation here in the chat channel, and I'm going to be going through this, and we're going to be addressing this as well. And we, of course, have got this recorded. We're going to get that out. But Svart is wanting to have more of these with the players, okay? And this is highly encouraged. And we're going to be getting the information out there. If you guys have got anything that you want to put out in the open towards the 8C, as squads, as players, as whatever, make the post so that we can respond to it, all right? And my only suggestion, guys, is to try to make it as constructive as possible, because a lot of times when things... when they're put out across, it can be interpreted wrong, and the next thing you know, it turns into a flame war, and you guys know how that goes. But please, if you've got some more stuff you want to put out there to us, please make a post about it, and and we'll address it. And my pledge to you guys, and I know it's from Svart and Wolf and the guys within the 8C, this is not falling on deaf ears. We are going to get things going, and we just need your support. And this is one hell of a way of getting it going right here, guys.
I just want to know who's translating this to the Chinese.
Well, that brings up one good point. I did have one quick point I wanted to make, if that was okay.
Yes, sir.
Go, Dago.
Basically, the only real issue I've seen with HC personally is late night. I live in the States. I'm on Eastern time. And late night, I'm talking 1, 2 in the morning Eastern time. It seems like nobody's really on HC-wise. I know Shadow's on sometimes, but I mean, the other night, there was a good 20 minutes where we had no AO, or they'll launch an attack on someplace, and not even a half hour later, we're leaving it, after we dropped what we were doing to come there and capture a couple CPs. So I'm thinking maybe there needs to be, as far as you guys said, time zones earlier, certain people that are going to indefinitely be on at certain times of the night. Because especially at nighttime, it gets slow.
I'm sorry, Dago, but to be perfectly honest, we're not going to be able to do that. We can't ask guys to definitively say, I will be on at this time. That's just unrealistic. Because how do you then enforce it if they don't log in? And we turn around and say, hey, where were you? That's not okay, and it's really so far outside the charter.
There be punishment or consequences. I'm just saying, for the most part, people who usually play at a later time, I'm just saying, at that time, I think there should be at least a couple or a few guys on, not always the same guy. That's just my opinion.
My argument would be, if you're seeing low pop and you're not seeing officers, somebody else needs to step in and volunteer, and we need more officers in that time zone.
Real quick, Exum as the CRS, let me ask you this. Why can't you guys put some kind of a situation in there where if there's nobody on there, it allows them to become a temporary HC for that certain time until someone comes on?
We've explored other means, and we still are, for players to have some sort of further engagement into where, AOs go with or without HC officers. There's nothing definitive, but it is something where we don't have to 100% rely on someone being online or not, or if they are online, but somehow engaging the players further. There's nothing I can get into depth with that. That's been discussed, but it's not anything tangible. It's not real.
That's understandable. It's just somebody who's been in game